Well, hello everybody. This is Paul P's, aka Psycho's Platters YouTube channel here. This is a response video in regards to John K. TechHead out in Greece. Of course, good to be subbing to you, sir, and you're probably my first Greek VC member that I know of that makes videos. Keep it up. I've seen a few of yours and they've been pretty cool. So, this is a response video in regards to a contest thread about whether or not the vinyl fad is good or bad. Well, here's the thing, alright? For you people out there that don't know, I'm almost 50 years old. I'll be 50 next September. Not this one, but the next one next year. I have been collecting records for 37 years of my life. I've been collecting. So I've been doing this on and off. This is my third collection that I have had for now about the last almost 10 years. I've had this collection. I've had to sell my other collections for, unfortunately, various bills and necessities. For, kids on the way, diapers, stuff like that. I think you people can understand that. Always powered by coffee, but it pretty much, I don't want to go long-winded here. I've seen some of the contest video threads from other people. I'm gonna throw one out here though. Bobby C, every time you make a video, you pretty much get it on the point, but you make me laugh. I'm not kidding. You make me spit my coffee out several times. But he's right on some of this, and so I want to go a little further. I wrote a couple points down here. As far as for the vinyl fad, I'm trying to exactly figure out when the fad really started. I want to say, well, okay, man, oh man. What would we say, about 5 years ago? Maybe 6? Now, it didn't help when Record Store Day came. Now, don't get me wrong. The original concept of Record Store was supposed to be you go to your independent mom and pop record shops and you go off and you visit those stores. There's increased foot traffic into those stores for those releases, and hopefully creates more customer clientele, more interaction with fellow collectors. But I think the fad, like I said, it spiked more, I want to say, after the second Record Store Day, because the first Record Store Day, in my neighborhood, there wasn't a lot of people that got involved. There was one store. Everyone else that I know in my areas and then up in Illinois, they didn't have it yet. So I think that, that spiked up the collectors of the fad, so to speak, or newcomers into the hobby. The other thing is, though, that I noticed, and I remember reading this within the last 30 to 60 days, that vinyl sales once again have spiked. I want to say it was near 2 million as opposed to last year, which was like 1 point something million. That's a good trend. It really is. But the thing is that part of the problem, per se, in the fad, there's good and bad. The good here, like I said, is you get more collectors. You get more people introduced into the hobby. You get more VC people, and that's good. I am very impressed with some of the younger people's channels. Now, what do I mean by younger people? I've seen 12-year-olds post. I've seen 15-year-olds, all the way up to, let's say, 30 years old. All right? Because realistically, vinyl kind of got stopped by 90-91, didn't it? In most markets. So that was your original wave of record collecting was, let's say the 50s to 90, 91. Yes, I know records were made before then, but just follow with me a minute. So these under 30-year-olds, they're getting introduced into the hobby. Some of them, I hope, it's for the right reasons. It sounds like it to me. These kids are getting turned on to sounds that are very incredible, very cool, and even the newer band stuff that I'm not into, all right? You know, kudos to them. Good that they're able to find a old revived medium to be able to hear their new bands on. The thing is, though, on the downside, the prices of most new vinyl are ridiculously priced. Part of it, I honestly think, you know, you could drive the cost down a little bit by simply not having to make 180-gram records. I've seen 180, I've seen 200, I've seen 220. Why? Okay? Why do you need to do... okay, fine. It's what? It's a lure, right? It's a lure into getting something. Basically, it's not going to make much of a difference. It's what's in the grooves. It's not how heavy the vinyl is. And please, dear God, do not have a Crosley. Crosley, don't sue me. You know what I'm talking about. I just read an article within the last 7 to 10 days that they're supposedly upscaling their turntables. Yeah, gee. You've been upscaling. Well, how long have Crosley's been on the marketplace? 5, 6 years? And they're finally talking about upscaling their turntables? To what? That scares me right there. Bobby C was right on certain things. To get into this hobby, it costs money. Yes, it does cost money. But if you have common sense and you have financial sense, you're going to be all right. You can get a respectable collection at a decent price. Okay? When I started out in '79, yeah, I know things were different back then. I barely bought new records. I mean, new records, though, were easily obtainable. They were, what, $5, $6 maybe? Maybe $7 for an LP? But I scoured those garage sales. I scoured the flea markets. I scoured resale shops. I still do that. That's 80% of my collection is used beautiful stuff. Which leads me again to another point. For example, what is it? They reissued all the Kiss albums that I remember, all the Eagles albums. Who's the band that's getting their stuff all... Floyd. All of it's coming back out on vinyl, okay? Alright, fine. Good for that. There's just one problem. The prices. So what if you're going to go... Let's throw Dark Side of the Moon out, for example. So what if Dark Side of the Moon is coming out, and yes, it's going to be in the original packaging. Let's say the posters are in it, and the labels, and they throw a download code in, which that part I like. I like it that they do that. Or even a copy of the CD. Some of the album companies do that. But let's say they're like, okay, fine. Brand new copy, Dark Side of the Moon, 180 gram, maybe it'll even be colored vinyl, God knows what. $29.99 for a price tag. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, why do I want to pay $29.99 for a brand new copy of Dark Side of the Moon where I can go to a record store, and I've got 3 of them here in the area, or do special orders through, for example, Off Center Records in Utica, New York, or Music and More, both out of New York, and great fine shops where I could go do mail order and get a copy of Dark Side of the Moon for half that price in a great shape and in its original press. You know, a lot of these people kind of throw the financial sense out the window, and it's like, ooh, it's got... No. You know, you got to think with your head in this hobby, kind of. Not with your heart. I know that sounds really weird, but you got to think with your head in the sense of getting the most bang for your buck. So, yeah, let's see here. What else? What else? What else? I brought all this up. I do want to mention one last thing, and I'll shut up, okay? The fact of the matter is that, yes, vinyl sales have been going up. And like I said, this fad is good and bad, okay? But honestly, I think we better enjoy it while we can. What do I mean by that? Well, I've read recently that physical CDs are just about ready to go by the wayside. I have been led to believe, and was it Rolling Stone or was it? It was another music trade. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't pull the source up right away in my head. I think they're talking about literally 2018 doing away with CDs. There won't be CDs anymore after 2018. And basically, they're forcing the digital download issue for new music at that time. And I'm sitting here and look, I'm sorry, okay? I'm not a digital fan. I don't have a Spotify account. I don't have any of that. You want to know how I listen to new music sometimes? I'm not going to lie to you. YouTube. Even with some of the classic bands, I'll go to YouTube and I'll listen to the tracks. Now, yeah, okay, fine. I know it's compressed, but the YouTube of today is a lot better than the YouTube of back in 2008 when it came out, as far as for sound is concerned, and, you know, depending on what speakers. So I can pre-listen to the tracks before I go off, and it gives me an educated sound musical decision on whether or not I want to get the product. That part's true, alright? I'm guilty of YouTube listening, yeah. But in regards to digital media and that being the stuff of my new music collection, no. And I hate to admit this, and a lot of people are probably going to go, oh, well, you don't want to be, you know, follow the times. No, it's just, I like the aesthetics of being able to hold a 12 by 12 album in my hand, read the liner notes, and being able to put it on a turntable. Heck, even if it's not available on album and have it a CD, to be able to hold something in my hand and put it in there and listen, okay? The compression rate's a lot better. Of course, analog sounds better too, okay? I don't really want to hear it from computer speakers. That's just all there is to it. So, yes, keep buying the new vinyl, because you know what? It's going to stave off what's going to happen to this music business, where everything's going to be all digital download. And all I'm ever going to get is older LPs, because I'm sorry, I guess I refuse to just join the digital revolution. I'm not going to do it. So I know I was a little bit long-winded. I hope that answered a few things, and like I said, I compliment all the other people I've watched on their threads so far. Really good videos. Please watch this, and you know what? If you're not a subscriber to Psycho's Platters, will you do me a favor, please? Like and subscribe, because I do shows on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and we touch on topics like this sometimes, or other stuff. So John K. TechHead, listen, thanks a bunch for throwing this out there, and you know what? Take care out there in Greece, and for everybody else out in the VC, you take care and have a great week. See ya.